David, you've just given your major speech of 2021 at the AHA President's Lunch. The Premier and the Leader of the Opposition were in attendance. What were the key messages you were conveying?
Yeah, this is probably a pre-election speech. I wanted to know what our wish list was at the election. Now, rather than spend too much time looking back, looking forward to what we need and make sure they understood our issues. Obviously, COVID, all-encompassing, and the restrictions. I think the strongest point was that by the end of next week, we will be the only mainland state in the country still having restrictions on hospitality. Every other mainland state for vaccinated people will be cutting them. So it was really critical that they heard that message with the obvious follow-up that our restrictions need to cease now.
Yes.
We get the variants out there, but the reality is, if this is living with COVID, it's just not satisfactory. So to have, a number of politicians there, significantly have the police commissioner there hearing that message was pretty important. Also for them to get an understanding on exactly how hard it is to live with the vagueness of their rules. Some of the language around border closures, we've all copped it, and rather than that being a positive thing for us, we've all lost bookings, be it accommodation venues, be it restaurant bookings, function time of year. They need to understand that when they use alarmist language, that actually hurts us. And at a time of the year, particularly when the idea is to put some money in the till at Christmas, not be paying back deposits. So the whole COVID roadmap, and for them to understand that it was unworkable, was really important. Equally, the fact that there's so much vagueness around if we have a case in our venues, and we had a beachside hotel last week, they had to close because they had no staff who were all in isolation. That's just not appropriate when we're at high vaccination rates. So clearly COVID was the main issue to get across, and the restrictions, but there's life beyond COVID. So the skills shortage, there's not a hotel in the state that comfortably fills their vacancies. In fact, quite the opposite. Hard in the city, impossible in the regions. And so it was important they understood that situation normal is not appropriate. Equally, we've lost so many staff because of health directions, and for the government to understand we need help. A lot of frustration over liquor licensing and the inconsistency around liquor licensing, and the fact that the more and more liquor that's available, the reflex action from bureaucrats is to put harsher restrictions on the established venues. So it was important they heard our frustration there around that. Tourism, the tourism budget has to be expanded to rebuild what's been the hardest hit part of the industry. We were quite lucky that on the eve of the lunch, West Australia announced a $24 million injection into major events. So the next 2 or 3 years, if you're seeing State of Origin, if you're seeing major conferences, big events in Perth and not here, that will be because they're putting in 7, 8, 10 times more than we are. We need to improve that. A couple of big issues ahead of the federal election. We're really keen to see fringe benefits tax removed off accommodation, meals and drinks. You can go to a boardroom, an accounting firm or similar, and they can do that. But your plumber can't buy as apprentice a pint and a palmy and get a tax benefit, and that's just wrong. So that's important to us. And beer excise. On premise, we're looking for a 50% cut in beer tax or excise. Sounds a lot. It's only 2% of the overall excise take. We're the third highest beer tax country in the world, and that's just not appropriate. So they were the key political messages that we got across. It was also a great opportunity to acknowledge a lot of people. Our life member Doug Ellison passed away in November. It's important we acknowledge that. We did acknowledge SAPOL. There was a number of key SAPOL personnel in the room. They've actually really understood our issues, and we understand they've done their best to assist us in trying to balance the needs of the wider community with ours. And of course, we were able to acknowledge a number of key people who this year had moved their jobs. Jason Bailey from Lion, James Brindley, who was coming from Sydney, but the border rules cut him out. And Rob Lucas as well. Rob has been Treasurer for the last few years, 40 years in Parliament, and would be considered a friend of the AHA. So it was an opportunity to acknowledge all those people as well.
And no Christmas message for SA Health, David?
Look, SA Health, they've got a job to do. We get that. Their job is to balance COVID out. I guess one of the things we talked about at the lunch was the need for the transition committee to take a wider view on risk and reward. What we said at the lunch was that the government of the day has to take back control. Because at the end of the day, SA Health's job is to manage health, but someone's got to sit above that and look at the wider issues. We remain frustrated by SA Health's abundance of caution. We feel like we're being held hostage by them. But at the end of the day, it's actually up to the government to take control, and that was a strong message we sent at the lunch.
Excellent, and have a great Christmas.
And have a great Christmas to you, Tim, but most importantly, I hope all our members and their venues have a fantastic Christmas, have a profitable Christmas, and can I say a happy but COVID-free New Year.